Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I want to say a very big thank you to all my subscribers, and if you are just visiting this channel for the very first time, you are highly welcome. So on today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to draft a basic bodice. There are some secrets that are not revealed, but on this video I'm going to be showing you, and if you're interested in this video, please kindly stay to the end as we dive in. Thank you. So I've gone ahead to map out all the basic line, which are the bust point, the underbust, the half length, and also the hip line. So first off, I'm going to be going in by 3 and also going in by half of my shoulder measurement, which is 15 divided by 2, that is 7.5. And also I'm going to be coming down by 3. So the neck width we are working with is 3 and the neck depth is 3. So I had to draw this square. This is for the purpose of those who do not know how to freely just curve your neckline. So you can just do this square and then you curve it. So after doing that, I'm going to be coming down by 1.5 to create my shoulder slope. So this is one of the many secrets that so many people do not know, that on a basic bodice, on the front pattern, you have to come down by 1.5. It is very important. Before the end of this video, I'm going to be explaining why we came down by 1.5. And after you've done that, the next thing for us to do is to then take our chest line. And to take your chest line, the basic calculation is your bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5. So this is me trying to calculate it. The bust measurement I'm working is 35 divided by 6 plus 1.5. So that is how to take that is how to calculate your shoulder, your chest line. Apologies, that is how to calculate your chest line. Thank you. And once you have that, you just go ahead and mark accordingly, just the way I'm doing on this video. So this is me marking my chest line, connecting all the lines together. Please make sure you use a straight rule and don't use your freehand, because this is not a freehand tutorial. So after doing that, this is me trying to make sure the lines are showing, because I noticed that lines were not really very clear on the video, and I had to also use a marker pen to make sure this is very visible. So this is what we have after marking with our marker pen, and then this is our chest line, our bust point, our under bust, our waistline, also our hip line. So after doing that, the next thing for us to do is to then mark our bust gap. So your bust gap is also called your nipple to nipple. So the people usually say the basic is 4. No, the basic is not 4. So you have to measure your client from one nipple to the other and mark across on this line. Some people can be 7.5 and some people can be 9. So make sure to mark to take your client's measurement. So after doing that, connect all of these lines together. So I'm also going to be revealing another secret on basic bodice block. So after connecting all of these together, the next thing for us to do, if you are on a plus size, please on both sides go in on the waistline by 0.75. But if you are on a petite size, go in by 0.5, and then you come up by 1.5. This is basic for all, and then you come down by 0.5 and connect all of these lines together. Make sure you connect all of these lines together. And this is what we have after connecting all the lines together. And the next thing for us to do right now is to create our armhole line. And to create your armhole line, the first thing you are going to do is to take your shoulder measurement and place it on your chest line and connect all the lines together. After you've done doing that, another secret on this video is that for you to take your armhole curve, please do not divide your shoulder line, your armhole line by 2. The secret here is to go up by 3.5. This works for all body size. You go up by 3.5 and then you mark and come out by 0.5. Please go up by 3.5, mark and come out by 0.5. Do not divide that line by 2. It doesn't work that way. This pattern works for every body size. And then after you've done that, you're going to mark. And once you're done marking, you're going to connect all these points together. So you're going to be using your straight rule to connect from this part to meet your shoulder slope. And once you're done doing that, the next thing for us to do is to calculate our bust measurement. That is the circumference of your bust divided by 4, because that is where we're going to be placing that on the chest line, which will help us do the armhole curve. So whatever it is your bust measurement, you're going to be dividing it by 4, and once you're done doing that, you're going to mark it on the chest line, and then you connect it with your curve rule. So this is me dividing my bust measurement divided by 4, which is I think that is 8.25. I really can't see that from this angle. I think 8 point something, but then whatever it is your bust measurement divided by 4, and then you mark. After marking, make sure you use this armhole curve. Use this curve rule or whatever curve rule you have, and gently connect this line accordingly. And once you're done doing that, the next thing for us to do right now is to divide our waist circumference divided by 4. So whatever you have, you divide it by 4 and then mark on your waistline, which is also called your half length. So whatever you have for your waist circumference, you divide it by 4 and also mark on this. So one of the secrets on this basic body, so before you take your client's measurement, I need you to note this down. Before you take your client measurement, make sure your client is wearing a bodycon, a very fitted outfit. Please do not allow them wear a loose outfit, else you are unable to take the accurate measurement. So once we're done doing that, the next thing for us to do right now is to connect these points together. But before then we connect it together, we have to divide our hip measurement divided by 4 and place it on the hip line. Divide your hip measurement by 4 and place it on the hip line. Please do not take your hip measurement, your client or your hip measurement when you are wearing a jean. Make sure you are wearing a bodycon to get the exact measurement. So once we're done doing that, you're going to connect all of these lines together. Before we move on to the back pattern, if you're yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please go ahead to subscribe and also hit on the notification bell so you can get notified once I upload any sewing tutorial. So when you are connecting your waist line to meet your hip curve, please pay attention on how I am connecting this with this curve ruler. If you do not have an hip curve, that's not a problem. You can work with what you have. So once we're done connecting all the lines together, the next thing for us to do is to connect, that is to create our neck curve. So you can see how I am placing my rule on this to create your neck curve. So one thing about this ruler, it is very flexible. You can use it to do multiple things. So once we're done doing that, another secret is to tighten our shoulder slope. Please, you're going to be coming down by 0.25 and connect it to meet your shoulder slope. Please, on that part, come down by 0.25. This helps your outfit to sit properly on the shoulder without gaping. It helps it to sit properly on the shoulder without gaping. So this is what we have, and then we are going to be moving on to the back pattern. Before we dive into the back pattern, one thing I noticed about pattern paper is that it always folds, and then it's a struggle for it to sit on the table. And a lot of designer, a lot of fashion person, a lot of fashion tutor I encountered this, and then I have come to find a solution to this. And the first thing you're going to do is to get a masking tape. So it's not just to get a masking tape and then you cut out different pieces and start placing on the pattern paper. If you do that, it's going to give a shabby look, and a lot of you can really relate. So let's take for example now, I place this pattern paper on the table and then I'm placing the masking tape. No, don't do that. It's going to give it a shabby look and then you find it difficult to draft. So the first thing you're going to do, once you have your masking tape put together, that is different pieces cut together, you're going to open it up and fold. Make sure the part that is gumming, that's the front side, are facing each other. Once you have it this way, like I'm doing, you're going to place it under your pattern paper. Just follow this process. You're going to place it under your pattern paper and then gum it on your table. It's going to be easy. You see how easy it becomes, and then you don't have to see all the masking tape on your pattern paper because it's going to give it a very shabby look. I was once doing that, but then I just thought of this or following this pattern, and I noticed it was very, very good. So you can cut as many as you can and put it at the bottom of the pattern paper, and also gum it on every part that you want to do. So I think that's I hope you found something secret on these basic bodies. Just tell me what you do, what you think on the comment section. Do you think this idea makes sense? Or if you have another idea, just let us know on the comment section. Thank you. So let's dive into the video. So this is what I have for my back pattern, my boss point, my half length, and also my hip line. I've gone ahead to draw out those lines, and then I'm going to be going in by 3 for the neck width, and also be coming down by 2 for the neck depth. So I've gone ahead to mark out the zipper line. So from the zipper line is when you are going to be taking your measurements. So I'm also going to be connecting these lines together to create a square look. This is to help those who cannot easily map out the neck curve for the neck region, just the way we did for the front. So I'm going to be going in the by my shoulder measurement divided by 2, so that is 7, and also I'm going to be coming down by 1. So this is the secret I mentioned, that on the basic bodies, the shoulder slope for the front differs for the back. For the front, 1.5, for the back, 1. This is to aid the shoulder to sit well on your dress, so it would not be gaping. And then you're going to be dividing your bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5 to get your chest line. So just the way we did for the front, our chest line, how we calculated for the front, it's the same thing we're also going to be calculating for the back. So the next thing for us to do is to take our dot line. So the first thing you're going to do is to mark whatever you have for the front. If you do 4 for the front, you're also going to repeat the same thing for the back. If you do 3, you're also going to repeat the same thing and mark it on the bust point, the half length, and also on the hip line, and connect all of these lines together. Connect all the lines together, and once you're done connecting the lines together, so for the hip line, you are going to be going up by 1.5, just the way we did for the back, but for the half length is going to be totally different. So this is it. I'm going to be going up by 1.5, marking on this part, and on the half length, which is also called the waistline. For the back, please go in on both sides by 0.5. This is one of the secrets, and then come down by 0.5 and connect all of these lines together to meet each other. So this is what we have after connecting all the lines together, and the next thing for us to do is to create our armhole line. And to do that, whatever you have for your shoulder measurement, you're going to mark on your chest line just the way we did for the front, and then you connect all the lines together. So once you're done connecting all the lines to meet each other, so the next thing you're going to be doing is to go up by 3.5, just the way we did for the front. Please repeat the same thing for the back, and then you are going to by dividing your bust measurement, that is your bust circumference, divided by 4, just the way we created our armhole curve for the front. You are also going to use that same pattern to create for the back, but there's just a bit of a tweak. But then after calculating your bust measurement divided by 4, you mark this part. You are not going to be going in by 0.5. You're just going to get your curve rule and connect that line to meet that other line, just the way I'm doing so. And once you're done, you're going to be dividing the circumference of your waist by 4 and mark just the way we did for the front. You're also going to repeat everything for the back, and your hip, the circumference of your hip divided by 4, and also you're going to be marking on that part. And once you're done doing that, we're going to be connecting all the lines together just the way we did for the back. Please pay attention on how I'm placing this pattern ruler on my pattern paper. Please pay a very close attention. So the next thing for us to do is to come down by 0.25 and then connect the line to meet the shoulder slope. This is to tighten that part to avoid the shoulder gaping after sewing your outfit. And then just pay attention, a close attention on how I'm connecting this to create my neck curve. please pay a very close attention. Remember, I said this ruler is very flexible, so if you have it, congratulations to you. You are able to use it to do different things on your pattern paper. So once we're done doing that, this is where we have to eliminate the gaping part, that is the zipper part, because our back is not entirely straight. So on this part, I needed to just mark it out so you all can see that it is the zipper part that we want to work on. So the first thing we're going to do is to identify 0.5 on our tape rule, and then you're going to be going in by 0.5. Please pay very close attention on how I'm marking this and connect it to meet the neck width and also connect it to meet the hip. So that is how to eliminate. So you can go in as much as 0.75. If you are on a plus size, you can go in by 0.75, but on a petite size, just go in by 0.5. That's fine. And then after that, you're going to mark out your zipper allowance, so you can use either 1 or you want to use 1.5, but not more than 1.5. But when you're working with a stretchy fabric, I think using 1 is enough because it is a stretchy fabric. So that's the end of this tutorial. Thank you so much for staying to the end of this tutorial. Tell me what you think on the comment section, how you find this tutorial helpful, and also share to your fellow soulmates, and do not keep this to yourself. Thank you so much for trusting this brand. See you on my next video. Bye.